Okay, so what if everything you think you know about our planet is wrong? We're about to dive into one of history's most wild and baffling tales, the story of a man named Olaf Jansen and his supposed journey to the inner Earth. It's a story that, if it's true, pretty much challenges everything we know about science.
It's a pretty cool thought, right? This idea of a secret civilization, totally untouched by time, just thriving deep inside the Earth. For centuries, this concept has totally captivated explorers, and today, we're going to look at the legend of Agartha through one man's absolutely incredible account.
And this is the place at the center of it all, the legendary kingdom of Agartha. For ages, mystics and adventurers have whispered its name, a civilization of unbelievable wonder, supposedly hidden right at the core of our planet. And this is the fabled destination at the heart of our story today. Now, our story doesn't start with some famous explorer or a well-funded expedition. Nope. It starts with a regular fisherman who just happened to stumble upon something, well, something extraordinary. Let's get into it. So, meet Olaf Jansen. It's 1829, and he and his father are just fishermen, totally used to the rough, icy waters of the Norwegian Sea. They had absolutely no idea that their next fishing trip was about to become the voyage of a lifetime. So their journey takes this crazy turn when a monster storm just blows up out of nowhere. For days, their little boat gets tossed around by these huge waves, pushing them way, way off course into uncharted Arctic waters. Just when they thought it was all over, this weird, thick mist appears. And through it, they see something impossible. A gigantic, dark opening in the ice. And here's what's so fascinating. You'd think most people would turn back, right? I mean, who wouldn't? But for Olaf and his father, their curiosity, this powerful sense of adventure, it just completely took over. They held their nerve and sailed right into that mysterious opening. And this, right here, is where things get really, really strange. As they sailed deeper and deeper into this passage, the world they knew just started to melt away, replaced by something that feels like it's straight out of a fantasy novel. The signs were everywhere, and they were undeniable. The freezing Arctic water started to feel almost tropical. A strange, kind of magical light started glowing from above, lighting their way. They saw these fantastical sea creatures swimming right past their ship, and the rocks all around them, they were carved with these intricate patterns, like someone or something had been there. And the evidence just kept piling up. They found the crumbling ruins of what looked like grand cities, with architecture way more advanced than anything they knew on the surface. And this just raised a huge question. Who in the world could have built these things so deep inside the Earth? I mean, just think about it. They had left a world of cold, predictable reality and sailed right into a hidden one that completely defied logic. This was a secret, subterranean wonderland that turned their entire understanding of the planet completely upside down. So, after sailing through this bizarre new world, they finally made contact with the people who lived there. And the story they were told? Well, it would change how they saw humanity forever. Their ship eventually drifted to this lush green coast. And there, they were welcomed by a race of people who called themselves the Arianni, which means the enlightened ones. And these weren't some primitive cave dwellers. They had knowledge and technology that was centuries ahead of the surface world. The Arianni told them this incredible story. Apparently, they were descended from an ancient race that once lived on the surface, just like us. But when some massive catastrophe hit the planet, their ancestors fled deep underground for safety. Over countless generations, they adapted, they evolved, and they unlocked the deepest secrets of the Earth. And here is their biggest, most revolutionary claim. The Earth isn't a solid ball of rock. They said it's actually a hollow shell with multiple layers inside, and each layer has its own lands, its own oceans, its own ecosystems. The world we know is just the thin crust on the outside of this amazing, vibrant, multi-layered world. But then came the most mind-blowing revelation of all, their role in our history. The Arianni claimed that their ancestors had actually lived among early humans on the surface, planting the very first seeds of civilization, sharing knowledge that helped us develop. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. After spending years living in this inner world, the time finally came for Olaf and his father to head back. But, as it turns out, sharing their discovery with the world would be a dangerous journey all on its own. Their trip back was just brutal. They had to battle these dangerous currents and that thick, disorienting mist, but they finally emerged near Greenland, where they were rescued by a passing ship. They were home, but their biggest challenge was just getting started. So, how many scientists believed Olaf's incredible story? 0. A big, fat 0. When he tried to tell people what he saw, the scientific elite of his time literally laughed him out of the room. They called him a madman and just dismissed his whole account as the crazy ramblings of a shipwrecked fisherman. And to this day, the story gets really strong reactions. For the believers, Olaf's account is this compelling piece of evidence that our world holds secrets we haven't even begun to uncover. For the skeptics, well, it's a fascinating story, but ultimately just a product of an overactive imagination. But hey, whether you think it's fact or fiction, you can't deny the story's power. It has inspired tons of books and movies and continues to fuel this really powerful sense of wonder. It reminds us that maybe, just maybe, there are still huge mysteries waiting for us right beyond the edges of our maps. In the end, Olaf Jansen's story really pushes us to ask, what if he was telling the truth? What if the boundaries of our reality are way more flexible than we ever dared to imagine? It's a powerful thought that kind of dares you to look beyond what you think you know.